Hi guys, I'm here again for the 3 tarot card reading for the coming week. So we'll have a look to see what's in store, so that's coming up. So we've got a bit of a mixed bunch here. It looks like an interesting week and typically busy for the beginning of December. That will be cool. So at the beginning of the week we've got the 7 of Pentacles reversed, which means it's a time to look at how efficiently you work, how much effort you put into getting things done, and are you actually interested in what you're doing. If you're not interested in what you're doing, it doesn't, have to be your life goal anymore. You can change your goal, you can change track. People change careers, people change paths, people change passions. It happens. So don't feel like you're locked into it and it has to be like that forever. It doesn't. But it's looking at how you can bring more interest, more passion, more fascination, and more just interest into it. At the moment it's reversed, but the right way up, it's somebody who absolutely loves what they're doing and is putting a great deal of effort and energy into it. Whereas when you turn it upside down, that is lessened. It's not that the work isn't there, there's just not as much interest in it at the moment, and that may be because there are other things going on. That happens too. If you've got a lot going on with a relationship or family, sometimes your work is not your main focus. But the beginning of the week is just a look at reassessing that, and don't work yourself to death. Keep some energy for yourself, because from what I can see here with the 10 of Wands in the middle of the week, it seems that people are a bit burdened, a little bit weighed down. The general energy is that there are a lot of responsibilities on people's shoulders at the moment. And if you look at this card, that's a really difficult way to carry a bundle of sticks. They're not that easy to carry like that. There's more efficient ways to carry them. So even look at how you're doing your work, or if there are easier ways to get the job done. Or maybe you're doing more than your share. Do you have to do more than your share? Probably not. You're just one of those hardworking people who ends up with a lot of jobs. So look at what's fair and what's not fair, because the end of the week is leading you to the 4 of Cups, which is all about making choices and making decisions. So the whole week looks like a week of working out what you're doing, how you're doing it, whether you enjoy it, whether you're doing it efficiently, if it's too much, and things like that. We do have to look after ourselves, and the current trend at the moment is for people to work harder and harder and harder and harder just to survive. They're not making any greater headway. It's just life's become much more expensive than it used to be, so people are having to do that. So it looks to me like by the end of the week you're ready to make some decisions about that. So the weekend's a perfect time to actually just drop some responsibilities. If you get asked to work for the weekend, maybe say no. You need some time out and you need to think about what you're doing and what you actually want to do. What's your dream? What's your passion? Look at what your passion is. I just actually made a video about that. So if you want to find some tips and tricks on how to figure out what your passion and your purpose in life is, it is either the last or the one before that. I'll put it on here as a card so that it's easier to find. But that is a really good way to start to figure out what your passion is. This week it sounds a little bit glum, but it's not really. It's a process. It's about figuring out what you want, what you don't want, how you're doing it, whether you enjoy doing it, whether you get any kind of reward other than money from it. And by the weekend you're ready to look at what you actually want to do and to have a bit of a sort out. Your job might be fine, but you might be just doing a bit more than you should be, or you've kind of lost focus a little bit and you're not quite as satisfied with what you're actually doing there. So also have a look at that. So the weekend, next weekend is, or this coming weekend, is a really good time to get really clear on what your passion, your purpose, your direction is. December is a really huge push to look at your truth, look at your direction, look at your passion, be very honest with yourself. See, the bird agrees. It's very noisy. And yeah, because it is, the sun is in Sagittarius, which is all about truth and finding the answers and things like that. Sagittarians are the truth seekers, so there's a very strong element of truth. So have a look at what you'd really love to do. Look at where your passion takes you. There can also be decisions about personal relationships here. If this is not relating to work, it's basically saying you're making more effort in this relationship than the other person, and is that really what you want ultimately? You know, a one-way relationship, whether it's with a partner or a family member or a friend, can get quite frustrating, so, and a little bit unrewarding. So by the end of the week, you'll be ready to look at, you know, are you carrying more than you should? Should you actually just step back and let the other person come towards you rather than chasing them, you know? So yeah, it's an interesting week. By the end of the week, there'll be some pretty big life decisions made. By Sunday, you'll be very, very clear on what you want to do. I'm actually going to see where that energy carries on to. So here we're looking at, yes, clarity and decisions and new commitment to your own path. So yeah, the follow on from the slightly not very vibrant week is actually absolute clarity on what your path is. So it's worth going through those ponderings and thoughts and decisions and looking at what you want to do. And once you've got that clarity, you'll be absolutely committed to it. You'll have the Two of Cups, which in a relationship means clarity and commitment. In work or in your own personal or spiritual path, it means absolute commitment on your path and clarity and direction and focus, which will put you very much in the driver's seat of your life, which is the Emperor, which is also following on from those influences. And the Emperor is very much about being in charge of what you're doing, being very decisive, being very strong, and being able to cut through any distractions or anything that's confusing or unclear. So this week of looking at your life, what you've taken on, is it right for you, is it what you want to do, and so forth, and then thinking about it over the weekend and reflecting a bit will lead you into a very, very powerful time of clarity and determination to achieve what you want to achieve. Also, yeah, with relationships, don't give more than you get back. It's time to be a little bit more decisive and clear, and maybe even a little bit blunt, and say no to obligations and responsibilities that were never meant to be yours. You know, they're somebody else's. So don't let yourself get railroaded into doing more than you want to do. So it is a very, very powerful time coming up of getting real clarity and making some very powerful, some very strong decisions to take you into the future. So yeah, following on, we have the Ace of Swords, you know, that is clarity, decisiveness. It's very, very powerful. Then we have the Two of Cups, which can be either romance or real commitment in a relationship, but it can also be a real commitment and a real drive to achieve your goals without losing focus, which leads you on to the Emperor, which is all about being in charge, taking charge, being in control to a certain extent. I mean, we don't control everything, but we can be in charge of what we're doing, how we're doing it, and what we're doing with our lives. So it means very much that you feel empowered and in charge of yourself and your own life. So it is leading to a very, very good outcome. So don't be afraid of looking squarely at your life and pondering things a little bit and just looking at what your true passion and drive is. You know, sometimes we start and we have a goal and then other things happen and we end up a little bit off track, and this is a really good time to get back on track to what you were actually hoping to achieve. So have a beautiful week, everyone. Christmas is coming, so things are likely to get a little bit hectic out there. Make sure you take some nice breaks. Take yourself into nature if you can, just for some breaks, just to stay grounded and re-energize. And I'll see you next time. Lots of love.